Hello. Hello, hello, hello. We're back. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We have returned with more Phoenix Wright. Last time we left off, we had just finished completing the first day of investigation. Oh, hold on. Wait a minute. And now we're starting the trial, so... Oh! I forgot. I would have made that the title if I remembered that Edgeworth is alive. He came back, but he's still not the prosecutor this time around, so he's just here to, I don't know, just be around, give us a little bit of a helping hand, but okay, continue. Adrian did it? Yeah, that's okay. That's also the story we're going with too. Is that she's the one who did it. That's what it looks like. Dude, no way. That woman could do anything like that. In court today, there will be a mountain of evidence that will implicate you. A mountain of evidence? I'm certain there is someone out there trying very hard to pin this whole thing on you. Please, Mr. Lawyer. Dude, like I said yesterday, I'm refreshing like a spring breeze, right? Right. I can't let any sort of scandal. I understand. Well, it's almost time. Oh, hello. Whoa, Mia. You must get the complete acquittal today. Why? Huh? Wait. I know. But I can't focus on Maya's situation right now. Or Pearl's either. No matter what, I have to focus on winning this case by the end of the day. Indeed. Well, let's get going. Uh-oh. It's him. This is Wright. Good morning. This is it, Mr. Attorney. The day of the trial. Maya, she's unharmed, right? Well, when I checked on her earlier this morning, she seems a bit, how shall we say, tired. I swore if you... Don't worry, people don't die that easily. Besides, what you really should be concentrating on is winning today's trial. For my sake, and as well as yours, you must win today's trial. Which is why I sent you a little present this morning. Huh? Present? What in the world would you want to give me? You'll figure it out once the trial starts. And even if you don't like my gift, I expect you to graciously accept it and win the day's contest. Please. Wait! Ah, crud. The kidnapper sent me a present. Mr. Lawyer, dude. Who was that? No one. It has nothing to do with you, so forget you heard anything. Dude, did your nose just get longer? Pinocchio ass. Huh? Where's... Court is now in session for the trial of Matt on guard, but someone's missing. Are the prosecution and defense ready? Defense is ready, Your Honor. But... Huh? I say, Mr. Wright, what happened to Miss Von Karma? Wait, why are you asking me? Why are you asking me? How should I know? I don't know, Your Honor. Why are you getting mad at me? Your Honor, please be quiet. Please be quiet, bailiff. Court is in session. If you must tell me something, please keep it brief. Now then, what is it? Prosecutor Von Karma has... This morning, Miss Von Karma was shot by an unknown gunman. No! DIVA down! DIVA down! Dude, okay, I'm definitely gonna call it. What? She shot. Holy. Somehow, I think this is the present that man was talking about. Wait a minute. She obviously can't do the trial, so what do we... His present? His present? Oh, I don't want... Miss Von Karma is one of the top prosecutors in the country at the moment. If she were to disappear, that would be It would be to your advantage. Yeah. Oh, hold on. Didn't. Oh, I think I see. I say as I completely remember this part when I played. Sorry, I gotta keep up the kayfabe. This is totally insane. Mr. Karma, is she all right? I don't have that answer. She's alive and in stable condition. Oh, that's good. Ooh. I thought he'd show up. Yeah. He's gonna have to take over. And Your Honor. Oh! Hold on, wait, shut up for a second, Edward. Yeah. I forgot to mention this at the start, but well, still kind of the start, but no, this game, in a shocking turn of events, it got an update or announced that I think at TGS or whatever, they announced that it's getting an update. The collection's getting an update. It's not anything with just like an episode select and like a model viewer and like promotional stuff, that kind of things. Hold on, did they even they're probably not out yet, but hold on, let me check the Steam. Thing. Oh no, okay, coming November, they're not even like not even yet. It's coming in like 2 months, so we're cool. So nothing to worry about. Due to the circumstances, Miss Francisca von Karma cannot appear in court today. I, Miles Edwards, will be taking her place. Yeah, thanks for the present, Mr. Kidnapper. This is actually way worse. The prosecution is ready, naturally. Yo, Miss Von Karma was shot in her right shoulder and is currently undergoing surgery. Man, like father, like daughter. Luckily, I have looked this case over and am familiar with the details. The prosecution seeks to prove the guilt of Mr. Matt Ungard. The court acknowledges the prosecution. Right. I finally found the answer I was struggling for on my own long journey this past year. By the time this case comes to an end, you too will know the answer. He said that yes last time too. Huh? Now then, the prosecution would like to call its first witness. Please bring Detective Gumshoe to the witness stand. No, DIVA down! Witness, your name and occupation. My name is Dick Gumshoe, sir. I'm a detective down at the precinct. For now. For now? After this trial's over, I'm supposed to turn in my badge, sir. Detective Gumshoe. The prosecution has no need for a depressed witness. Lift your head up and face forward like a proud officer, Detective Dick Gumshoe. Yes, sir. Now, let's have your testimony. If we want to explore the various facets of this case, we must start with that. Get ready, Phoenix. This is going to be one very rough fight. Yeah. It would have to be with Edgeworth as my opponent. The answer he was struggling for. Interesting. Show me this answer you finally found. No. Lambda. Ooh. Yeah. Sorry, no, I'm looking for something to listen to. But then I saw a video about the new Fire Emblem mobile game or I don't even know if it's a gacha. I'm just gonna say mobile game that came out. And it's like, yeah, basically the thumb was like, it's really bad. Fire Emblem Shadows. It's really bad. And I'm like, yeah, that's surprising. I saw how it looked at like, ooh, I'm like, ooh. Oh, I'm like, that's not. Bare facts of the case. Sir, this murder happened after the Hero of Heroes award ceremony, sir. The victim, Juan Corrida, hold on, I also have pretzel sticks, I might eat one. The victim, Juan Corrida, was found dead in his hotel room. After looking into the cause of death, we believe he was definitely murdered, sir. At first, we thought there was something suspicious about the empty guitar case. However, we later found out that the guitar case had nothing to do with the murder. After the award ceremony ended, the victim was alone in his room? Yes, sir. But the victim and the defendant went alone to their rooms, sir. Sir. I see. Mr. Wright, you may be getting a cross-examination. It's the last thing. What makes you think that? What convinced you that it had nothing to do with the case? The guitar wasn't at the Gatewater Hotel that night, so why did he bring the guitar case? Well then, where was it? The bright red guitar was eventually found at the TV studio. The victim, Juan Corrida, had apparently only taken the case with him, sir. That's odd. So you mean he forgot to put the guitar inside the case? Yes, sir. Even when he was on stage for the ceremony, he didn't have his guitar. That's true. So that guitar case was empty even before he got to the hotel. Yeah, that's right. So it really had nothing to do with the case after all. Oh, sorry, I should be reading that. Oh, of course we're supposed to escape from the two, don't you think? Yeah, there's traps. We get more information from him. Okay, so don't look for press everything. Got it. Okay, happened after mirror, sir. Would you please give us a brief time of what happened after the ceremony? Okay, pal. The ceremony started at 6 p.m. It ended around 8 p.m. and then there was a short break. A special post-ceremony show was supposed to start at the lobby 30 minutes later. And that's when the victim's body was found, correct? Which is to say, the murder occurred during that 30-minute break period. Please continue with your testimony, detective. The person who discovered the victim's body was Adrian Andrews, correct? Yeah. Who is this Adrian Andrews you're talking about? He's the defendant's Matt Ungar's manager. She's a really pretty lady, sir. Ah, so she's a pretty lady. I wonder if she will grace us with her presence. When the post-ceremony show was about to start, she went to get Mr. Ungar. After visiting his room, she next went to the victim's room to get him for the show. Why? I see. And that's when she found the victim's body. After looking into the cause of death, we believe he was definitely murdered, sir. The cause of death, wasn't that because Mr. Corrida was stabbed in the chest? Wait, is that what he said? Only a careless amateur would believe something so brainless as that, pal. That's what you told me? Yeah, that's exactly what he told us at the... Take a good hard look at the crime scene photo. Now, a real pro's attention would be drawn... Oh, so... Okay, so now a real pro's attention would be drawn here to this bandana. Bandana. His bandana, sir. That's the thing wrapped tightly around. So he wasn't stabbed, he was choked to death. That's the thing wrapped tightly around his neck, sir. Ah, yes. Yes, I see. His banana-scented bandana. Then what about the knife? It seems to have been stuck in the victim's chest on purpose after his death. We have a crafty murderer on our hands here. That's important. At first, we thought there was something suspicious. And why did you think that? Because it was empty, pal. The Jammin' Ninja doesn't go anywhere without his bright red guitar. And we couldn't find it anywhere at the scene of the crime. Oh, then how about this theory? The fan really wanted the guitar and did the crime to get it. How's that? Well, no, they found it at the... No, they found it at the studio. We thought of that too, but the only fingerprints on the guitar case were the victims. On the victims, only the victims, huh? I see. So much for my theory then. I believe that is enough. First, the victim was choked to death with his bandana, and then he's just stabbed. But that seems. Then after the victim was dead, the killer deliberately stabbed him with a knife. That's odd. Which brings me to my next point. Why then did the police arrest Matt on guard? Because there was reason enough to suspect him. Here you come. Looks like Edgeworth's back in full swing. Very well. Detective Gumshoe, please testify about this matter. Yes, sir. The victim was not this. Matt Ongard and Juan Carrera were huge rivals with each other. They each thought the other guy was in his way. That's a motive enough in my book. As for evidence, there's the Jammin' Ninja's button. It was ripped off the ninja costume and found inside in Mr. Ongard's hakama. The defendant's fingerprints were also all over the knife. The defendant bought the knife for a crime, which makes this a premeditated murder. So the defendant's fingerprints were found on this knife using the stabbing. It was sort of sticky. It was sort of a sticky on the handle, so the fingerprints came out pretty clearly, sir. And there's this button that was found in the defendant's clothes, was it? And this button is also covered in blood. Yes, and we know that the blood on it is the victim's blood, sir. What? All this points very clearly to the defendant, doesn't it? Yes, it most certainly does, Your Honor. Ready to give in yet, right? I'll find a hole in your argument somehow. You can press as hard as you like. Just hurry up with your usual pointless questions. Farewell, my turnabout. Farewell, my turnabout. Orpheus. He does all right. Let's just see that. That's funny. Okay. He's roused each other. Okay, but he won. But Matt won. Wait, just 1 second here. Mr. Ongard was beating Mr. Carrera in the popularity polls. Well, yeah, I guess, but which means that in the defendant's eyes, the victim was not a rival at all. Which means that he had no motive to kill at all. Yes, I quite agree. Well, detective, it's not. Well, I guess if you put it that way, then yeah, the defendant would have no motive. Detective, I'm beginning to see why you were fired. No, not you too, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. I look forward to your pension negotiations. Oh, no, not my retirement. Now, detective, let's continue with the testimony. No, not my poor pension too. Detective, if you value your money, I suggest you proceed. Oh yes, sir. We can talk about my pension later, sir. What about what I was saying? Hello? Anyone? No, dude. They hate me. They hate me. Okay, so what do we got? What we got? Found in his thing. Gatewater, that's the knife. His thing was, because he obviously took it. Do you have any proof that the button belonged to the victim? Come on. Huh? What do you mean, pal? Oh, let me put it this way. I'm asking you if you have any evidence to back up your claim that this button was ripped off of the Jamming Ninja's costume. Huh? But can't you tell by just looking at it? And the victim's blood is on it. Anyone could have smeared that blood on there afterward. Mr. Edgeworth, help me. Mr. Edgeworth, help me, sir. All right, I knew. Thread. Huh? Yeah, we got it. The button was attached to the costume by a thread, obviously, and that thread has been snapped out when the button was torn. If you match with the thread ends of the thread on the costume with the thread on the button, it's a perfect match. Yeah, that's it. They're a perfect match, pal. That Edgeworth for you. That's Edgeworth for you. Never misses a beat. So the thing that doesn't make any sense is that that's something you would notice. When was this button found? Pretty soon after the body was found. We rounded up everyone who knew Mr. Kurita, and then we did a search on them all, and that's when we found the button. So it was almost immediately after the murder. The police didn't have the free time to lollygag and play tricks, unlike some people. Hey, what is he trying to say about me? The defendant's fingerprints are all over the knife. How were the fingerprints arranged on the knife? Huh? What do you mean, pal? By examining the fingerprints, you can determine how the defendant held the knife. For example, did he hold it normally or overhand? Oh, is that what you meant? Well, we didn't actually think of that. I can't believe the bumbling of this department. Hopeless. Hopeless. Were you paying attention to the testimony, Mr. Wright? The defendant's fingerprints were all over the knife. There's no way to determine how the knife was held at the moment of the murder. So is the defendant the owner of this knife then? Nope, sorry. He was the thing. Holy Toledo! Holy Toledo. I'm gonna start saying that, by the way. Be prepared. There is no way this was a premeditated murder, even if he brought the knife. Sorry, pal. This isn't some pocket knife. It doesn't fold, so it's not great for walking around either. Well, this is not good. If the prosecution can prove it was a premeditated murder, we're done for. Phoenix? Phoenix? Yes? There's something very interesting about what the detective said just now. Think carefully before it's too late. Be grateful. If the judge were more rash, he would have already counted his gavel and closing. We're still in a world of trouble. Okay, so let's find a weakness in the testimony, no matter how small it may be. Okay, Phoenix? So is that it was premeditated? So what makes it not premeditated? Oh, is it that it was it's the thing that he did? No, he didn't. Is that the knife? It was from the Gatewater Hotel. Yeah, it's from the hotel, so it's not really premeditated. Wait a second. Wait a second. What? So the basis of your argument is that this was a premeditated murder is simply that my client bought a knife beforehand. Oh, okay, he didn't say brought, he bought. So basically he's saying he used his money to buy, which is not true. That's right, pal. The defendant did not buy this knife. Huh? Take a good look at the handle of this knife and you'll see what I'm talking about. Huh? It has a Gatewater seal set into the handle. Gatewater? I think I've heard that name somewhere before. That's the name of the hotel, the Gatewater Hotel. The murder knife was actually property of the hotel, which means that this murder was not premeditated. Yes, that is very true. This is a very big... What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? He's gonna say some shit like, oh, I never I never once insinuated that it was premeditated. I'm sorry, but the defense is simply too careless. What? I think whether the crime was premeditated or not has already been determined. How so? I admit this knife is hotel property. There is no one currently on the police force that is dumb enough to not realize this. But I didn't know. Oh. The question is, where did this knife come from? Well, why? That's obvious. It came from the victim, Mr. Kurita's room. No, yeah, he brought it from his hotel. Sorry, Your Honor, but that is incorrect. There's no. The victim ate a last meal before he was murdered. With that being the case, I would like to draw the court's attention to what is on top of the table. Yeah, there's a knife and fork. There is a knife and fork on the table. Then, where in the world did this knife come from? Matt's room. If it pleases the court, I would like the force to recall the room of the defendant, Mr. Matt Ungard. Especially what was on top of the table is missing. A knife is missing. There's something missing, perhaps. It's a single knife? Yeah. We investigated the leftover dishes for the fingerprints, and while we were investigating, we came to the conclusion that Mr. Matt Ungard's knife was missing. Mr. Ungard would have gone to the victim's room with a knife he had used during dinner. Why would he carry a knife to visit? To kill, of course. And with that, I believe the prosecution is proven. Well, no. This was a premeditated murder. Amazing, Mr. Edgeworth. Absolutely brilliant. A brilliantly clean deduction. It seems like Edgeworth had this plan from the very beginning. This must be one of those traps, and I just walked headlong into it. A murder weapon with the fingerprints and a button for the victim's costume. There's quite a sizable amount of evidence here. I can safely say that any further deliberation is a waste of your Honor's time. Although, I wouldn't mind if the defense were able to present evidence not yet shown to the court. Evidence not yet shown. He means evidence that the court hasn't seen yet. In other words, new evidence. What does the defense have to say about this, Mr. Wright? Well, Phoenix, the judge is favoring the prosecution right now. If we answer with something wrong here, that gavel of his will be ringing out the sound of defeat. Mr. Wright, do you have something important and necessary to present to the court? There's one piece of evidence that catches my attention. Something that this court has yet to see. Mr. Wright, I will say this one more time. I do not feel this trial needs to continue at all. However, I'm giving you one chance and only one. Well. Oh! It's a glass. It's the weird situation. What the judge is saying, right, is don't try pulling one of your usual bluffs here. If I mess this up, it's curtains for all of us. You may now present one and only one piece of evidence. Now then, what is this evidence you wish to present? This is a wine glass, is it not? Please look at the photo of the crime scene one more time. The scene is a mess because of the victim's struggle against his assailant. The vase was broken, his makeup was all over the floor. These were all things that were on one point sitting on top of the dresser. Well, yes, I see your point. However, this glass that is sitting on the top of the dresser is mysteriously untouched. The only thing that had not fallen over along with everything else is this wine glass. This piece of evidence is more than strange enough to warrant further consideration. Well, what do you all have to say? Well, yes, it is a little peculiar. Yes, isn't it? I thought it was. You can stop looking at me with those puppy dog eyes of yours now. Mr. Edgeworth? What is it, Your Honor? Your opinion. You don't need my opinion, because there is no special meaning to that glass. What? There's no special meaning to the glass. It's safe to say that the glass was set there after the crime scene took place. By the person who discovered the body, Adrian Andrews, for example. She could have easily been so shocked that she set the glass down without thinking. That does sound very plausible, Mr. Wright? But Miss Andrews really has set that down. Could she? There's no way. It appears if I appear weak here, the trial is over. I can look for my proof later. For now, I can trust my instinct and point with certainty. They just might fall for it if you're thought-provoking enough. she read our minds. The defense would like to challenge the prosecution's theory. We would like to see something that proves that it was Miss Andrews who set the cup on the table. You turned the situation on its head yet again, as usual. Mr. Edgeworth, do you have any proof to back up your claim? There's no way he has anything. He has any. He's just bluffing. I have proof. Unlike Mr. Wright, I never say anything unless I have the evidence to support it. What? You're not thinking hard enough today, right? Did you think this wine glass escaped my notice? But then, of course it has been thoroughly inspected for fingerprints. Fingerprints? There were only one set of fingerprints left on this wine glass. Only one? Well, whose were they? They were not the victims nor the defendants. Rather, they were of one Adrian Andrews. What? That is why I said that the person who discovered the body had left it there. Are we done here, Mr. Wright? Sure, I can't believe I fell into another trap. Miss Andrews was probably holding the glass when she went to see Mr. Kurita. But upon seeing his dead body, she was stunned and set the glass down on the dresser. What you said just makes a lot of sense. Now do you see, right? You can't change any part of my scenario, as it explains everything all too well. I've thought long and hard about this past year about what it means to be a prosecutor. And from here on out, I will show you the answer I have come to discover. Wait a second, Mr. Edgeworth. I think the prosecution has provided enough evidence for me to enter my verdict. Unfortunately, I cannot allow you to pass judgment yet. The prosecution has yet another witness we would like the court to hear from. Another witness. Yes. Bailiff, please bring in the next witness. What in the world is Mr. Edgeworth thinking? Oh. Now then, witness, please state your name and occupation. Witness, your name and occupation, please. Got GOTC8A. Gotcha. I wonder what happened to that calm composure he had earlier. I wonder what happened to that. Oh. A real lady killer. Or a real man killer, I guess. Oh, wait. Oh, Wedgie boy. It's been like, what, a year since we last met, hasn't it? He should be more happy to see me. I saw the report with her testimony, but who knew that under that helmet, it was a wicked witch of the witness stand. I'll tell you this. No, I'm not going to read that. So today I'm going to tell you anything and everything. Even things that don't have to do with that terrible crime. No, please don't, Miss Witness. That terrible crime is all this court needs to know. Oof. Shush. I'm talking to my dear Edgy Wedgie right now. Don't interrupt us, Gramps. Yes, madam. No. Please, by all means, interrupt her. Please. Please. Ahem. Anyway, witness your testimony, please. Did you ever see that beam of the text messages where it's like, where it's a guy messaging a girl messaging a guy and she's like, ooh, how big is that D of yours? And he's like, small, leave me alone. It's small, leave me alone. It's true that they say that youth are hot-headed nowadays. Not that I mind at all, Edgy. Now then, what should I start with? The witness was on security detail at the hotel on the night of the murder. Is this correct, Miss Oldbag? It was a great job being able to see my dearie Juan, not Jan. It was almost too much for my little heart to handle. You mean you were a fan of the victim? Look, everyone is crazy over that on guard, saying he's cute in a fresh way or something. But not me. I wouldn't say anything so silly. After all, I have no interest in a little child like him to the same age. I'm only interested in a real man, Juan Corrida. But those two were the same age. Anyway, he just looks 40. Anyway, as I was saying, I was pacing in front of his room that night. Well, please tell the court what you witnessed the night of the murder. Leave it to me, Edgy Poo. Oh, new Hungry Cook. Oh, Kula Diamond. Sorry, someone retweeted a Kula Diamond figure. My relationship with KOF is so funny because I don't think I've actually ever played a KOF game ever. I've only ever played the crossover games like SNK, CVS, not SNK, CVS. I mean, so that's all I know. That's all my familiarity with KOF. Oh no, actually no. I think they gave away. I played one they gave away on Twitch like maybe like 6 or 7 years. But anyway, after the ceremony, I went to pay some. Yeah, okay, no. There was something I was just interested in finding out, you know. Well, since I was on the job, I made sure to keep a good eye out the whole time. That's when someone showed up. It was a man coming up out of poor Juan's room. It was on guard, Matt on guard. He was trying to sneak his way out of Juan's room. So Mr. On guard came out from the victim's room. See, it has to be him. He's the murderer. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Anyway, after the ceremony, I went to pace around the hallway in front of his room. There was something I was interested in finding out, you know. Well, since I was on the job, I made sure to keep a good eye. No, I read that already. Did you see him? She may not be mistaken here, which would be really bad for us. But that's how the human mind is. It also has a tendency to jump off the topic. He strayed onto a few interesting side topics this time too, hasn't she? But that's what makes her a sweet old lady, right? That's because you're not the one who has to question her. Well, just off of last time. Did you see it was Matt on guard? You saw my client? Are you sure about that? Yes, see. Really? Annoying brat. When I say I saw someone, I saw that person. Why do I get a sense of deja vu? Maybe to avoid a repeat of myself, you should ask. I should delve into this a bit further. Please tell the court about the man's face in more detail. You don't need me to tell you about his face. That soft, gentle look in his eye and his effeminate lips. His right eye covered by silky hair, his sparkling, shiny teeth. His teeth were shining. Well, he's shining all around in this week's pinup poster, dearie. This week's pinup? Why do you? I mean, I don't care how he looks in this week's issue. Please stay with what you saw that night. What? On guard's face is not the same no matter where it is, you know? You whippersnapper? So, Mr. Wright, was this? It was important. No! Wait, no, wait. I thought it said it wasn't important. Nope. I need to look at the. Let's say please tell me with the car about. What a troublesome man you are, really. Something like that matters. But it does. Now, what was it? Oh yes, it was that thing. What thing? The godly thing he's wearing, that racing jacket. Ah, he was wearing that at the detention center too. That thing's meant for nothing but seducing women out of their pantaloons. Right. No. No. Wait, so maybe... Maybe the detention, what was he holding? What was the man you saw carrying? In which hand? His right or his left? Now this is a real mess. I mean, it's be expected to answer such a vague question. Indeed, please be more specific with your question, Mr. Wright. Sorry. What was the man you saw carrying in his right hand? Hold on. Yeah, what handprints are on here? He wasn't carrying anything in that hand. Then how about his left? Empty. Then you could... You happen to laugh. You happen to laugh, lady. Yeah, hey, you happen to laugh. Well, this was the whole thing of... Well, this whole thing has been a lot of nothing. So, Mr. Wright, was it testimony? Yes, it was. It was very important. Of course it was important. Your Honor? Then perhaps you would like to point out what part of that testimony was important. You don't really have to put it that way to get me to say, Mr. Wright, there is something much more valuable than the person's pride, and that is time. Please do not waste this court's precious time with worthless questions. Yes, Your Honor. Okay, so no. So never mind, that was not the right one. So never mind, that wasn't the right... No. I'm wasting time. So this is... Oh, I think... Oh, wait. Yeah, it is important because the button was found in his Hakama. So if he wasn't wearing... Yeah, no. That's so he must... Yes. It was very important. Then perhaps you'd like to point out that what... Did you see Ezra? Your Honor, I request what the witness said about the jacket be appended to her testimony. I don't see quite where you're going with this, but please, all right, witness, please. Well, I don't like to badmouth anyone without reason, but if I must. It's this, the button. Then this button could not. Yeah. They wouldn't have found this button on his hook. Miss Oldbag. What? Don't say my name for no reason. Do you know what this is? It's a button number 2 on the Jammin' Ninja's costume. Now I know she's an obsessed fan. She has identified it in a single glance. She cray. Give it here. If you don't give it to me, I'll punish you with this. Wow. She really is a diehard fan to want a button covered in blood. This button was discovered on Mr. Ongard's body during a full body search. See? This button proves beyond a shadow of a doubt it was that rascal Ongard. But it was caught up in the pleats of his Nickel Samurai Hakama pants. See? And Ongard is a Nickel Samurai. But, witness. Now, it may just be me, and I do have an active imagination. But just now, didn't you say that the defendant, Matt Ongard, was wearing his usual racing jacket? I'm so sorry. Sorry that you judge people based on what they wear. If I were to trendy dress, then maybe you think... Damn, she throws the potatoes on your whack-ass clothes and whack-ass outfit. Whack-ass shoes, your whack-ass suit. Now hold your tongue still there for 1 second. So what you saw in actuality was not Mr. Ongard the man, but Mr. Ongard the Nickel Samurai? So what do you think about it? She did it. Basically, she did it again. They're really one of the same anyway. Miss Oldbag, this is a very important point we're talking about. Edgy Poo, do you think so too? Well, it might be something worth considering. Just say it's important and agree with me for a change. I say it's important and agree with me for a change. Witness, think carefully and try to remember as much as you can before you testify. All right, if you insist. I should be the one sighing, not you. Who I saw. On guard, on guard, on guard. Yes, now I remember. The Nickel Samurai, that's right. It was the Nickel Samurai that I saw. Yes, it would have been convenient for him to wear his costume during the murder. He had to go to that post-ceremony stores right after the crime, you know? So he must have known of must have worn that Nickel Samurai costume when he was stabbing poor Juan. I knew it. I knew you'd say he was inside that costume. What? Did you think there could have been someone else inside that costume? You remember last time? Don't be bad. Don't be a bad little boy. Think it's just rude little thing, just rude things. But the possibility does exist. Youngins today, I told you there's no way it was anyone else. How do you know that? Because I said so, and that what I say is the truth. At least she's just rightful as a witness as she was a year ago. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Who I saw. Like a Sarah. So let me ask you one last time. The person you saw, it really was the Nickel Samurai. As showy as ever. Haven't I been saying that from the very beginning? Can I throw in the towel yet? You don't need to think too hard on this one, huh? There's a contradiction in their testimony and it's sitting in plain sight. The question is what that contradiction means for us. Well, I have to figure out what you're talking about first, but okay. No, I think it's that he was. I think it's the stabbing. It's like, yeah, he wasn't. Yeah, the time. Nope. Is the thing so? Hold on. Maybe this? Yeah. If he were in the costume, his prints would be on the knife. Please take a look at this. Yeah, so it's a knife. Big deal. If you're trying to scare me with that, I'll have you know it won't work. No. That's not my intention at all. That's the knife that was used in the murder, correct? Your Honor, do you know why this piece of evidence is important to this case? You don't even have to ask. It's because the defendant's fingerprints are on it. Is that what you're driving at? That is exactly what I'm driving at. What are we driving at? And whose car are we driving? If the Mr. On Guard was really in this Nickel Samurai costume at the time of the murder, then it's impossible for his fingerprints to have been left on this knife. Actually, he would have wiped all previous fingerprints on this knife right off. Yeah, the gloves. Nickel Samurai costume has gloves. Oh, that's right. The Nickel Samurai wears gloves, doesn't he? He probably took his gloves off before he began the stabbing. But no, but that doesn't make any sense. Why? And why would he do something like that? To leave his prints on the murder weapon? There's no way he would do something like that. However, there's one possibility. Then let's hear your possibility. It's very simple. The defendant went to the victim's room while in the costume as a Nickel Samurai. At that time, the defendant held no intent to murder. Oh, but you did say it was premeditated. He was probably just going to relax and talk with the victim about the stage show, which is why he took his gloves off. But the murder still did take place. It's well known that there was blood between the defendant and the victim. Yes, I have heard that before. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say about Mr. Edgeworth's theory? So let me get this straight. Mr. Edgeworth's theory goes like this. When the defendant went to the victim's room, he had no intention of killing him. Now, there is a contradiction. This theory contradicts something in an earlier testimony. What are you babbling about? Now, for argument's sake, let's suppose Mr. Ungard was a killer. If that's the case, I think it's impossible to... without intent. Wait, what? Oh, then the knife. This knife. This was used by Mr. Ungard at dinner. Yes, we did establish that, which means that this has been used 3 times so far, by the way, which means that if my client was in fact a killer, then he brought this knife with him when he went to visit Mr. Kurita. I suppose, however, you just said it yourself. At the time, that the defendant held no intent to murder. If that were true, then why would he bring a knife? He wouldn't, would he? Which means that, Mr. Edgeworth, your theory was flawed from supposition 1. And one more thing. If the murderer was wearing the costume at the time of the murder, then there should be glove marks left on this knife, but there's not even that. Which means the defendant's fingerprints shouldn't be all over this knife, over it like bees on a hive. And that brings me to my final point. This knife was planted by the real killer to hide their identity and mislead us. Oh, order, I say. Order in the court. Was this knife really planted by the killer? Why would the murderer do such a thing? It's the frame. We have to go with frame. It's the frame my client of Mr. Ungard, of course. The frame. Aren't you forcing the interpretation just a little too hard on this one? But we just established that the witness saw the nickel samurai in costume. And if that were true, then there shouldn't be a single fingerprint on this knife. Grr. Witness. Looks like I made your life a tiny bit more difficult, huh, Edgy Poo? Grr. Witness, did you or did you not really see the nickel samurai? Well, I guess at first I might have forgotten, but are you saying you mixed up Mr. Ungard with the nickel samurai, his character on TV? But I mean, I can't really do anything about that now. Look, I was waiting around at the front door of the doors because, well, I wasn't waiting around for the nickel samurai, that's for sure. She wasn't waiting for the nickel samurai? All right then. Who were you waiting around for then? That's top secret to anyone outside of security. You're under oath. I have a feeling that you were waiting for Mr. Juan Kurita. Am I correct, witness? The way you think, you are this sad amateur with a terrible case of nearsightedness. Amateur? Me? What am I an amateur of? The old bag was waiting around in front of the victim's room. But if it doesn't sound like he was waiting to catch a glimpse of Mr. Kurita. Maybe. Phoenix, maybe the old bag was waiting around for that person. If it's who I think Mia is hinting at, it's certainly possible. Miss Old Bag, you were waiting for this person to come out of the victim's room, weren't you? It must be this person. You, Miss Andrews, it must have been her. Who is this person? This is Adrian Andrews, Mr. Ungard's manager. But why would the defendant's manager be in the victim's room? It seems that this is the latest rumor in circulation, Your Honor. Oh, this is... Well, this is... I see. The judge just seems to be really into the article, if it can be called such a thing. Then this manager with the initials AA, are you saying it's Adrian Andrews? Without a doubt. The witness thought so as well. Looks like you found me out. Well, that's fine. I can throw away this whole sworn to confidentiality stuff then. Well, witness, what in the world are you? Watch out, Phoenix. I've got a bad feeling about this. A very bad feeling. I got some information, some very secret information from a certain source. So that's why I was doing my own little investigation. In secret, of course. But what for? Oh, just for myself. Personal reason and all that. Brother. Well, Mr. Wright, Mr. Edgeworth, how will you proceed from here? I really don't want to do this. However, I cannot simply let this point slide. I see. Very well then. Witness, please testify about this secret information. Get ready. This is gonna take the wind out of you youngins. I ain't got to talk to y'all all nice. You sacks of shit. The Kuma lady. I'm sure we're all capable of handling this. Really, it's not like we're 10 years old. Jasper County motherfuckers. That on guard is one evil man. He thought he could ruin poor Juan by causing a huge scandal. So to do that, he sent his own manager to get in close with Juan. I cannot condone such a dirty trick, so I took action. Oh, and this is top secret. You got that? Nobody else but you and me know yet, okay? The defendant sent his manager. What a distasteful topic for this court. What? Nobody's above gossip. And isn't there a saying, the truth is never pleasant? Never heard that one before. Mr. Edgeworth, what about this Adrian Andrews person? We have looked into this matter and found that the truth the article proposes is in fact baseless gossip. But should this be true, then this proved that the defendant did bear ill will towards the victim. So this means I had to smash this rumor once and for all. Now then, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Be careful. The old bag seems rather excited right now. That's right. And guarded nothing but your average foul-blooded youth. Well, as the old saying goes, you gotta burn old bags with fire. Time to fire up the afterburners and hit the highway to the... Okay, holy... Highway to the danger zone. I never seen that movie. It's from Top Gun, right? I've never... I think... Or is it... Hold on, I gotta make sure I don't look... Yeah, okay, yeah, it is. Okay. I know what I'm talking about. It's from Top Gun. I don't think I've ever seen that movie. That on guard is one. Oh, no. I can read you. So what? You don't have any proof that Mr. Ungard did any such thing. You must be suffering from shock. The shock of hearing the truth. And now, since you're in so much shock, you can't do anything right. You're right. I can't do anything, but boy, do I can't do anything, but boy, do I wish I could do something about you. All right then, Sonny, show me what you got. Can you show me that proof that On Guard didn't... Well, do we have any? No. What? Do we have a picture of the... No, I don't think we have it. No, we don't have any. Me and my big mouth. That's the way cookie crumbles for you anyway. So, what do you mean by I took action? Like I already told you, I was lying in wait close to the crime scene. Once that silly slimy woman came out of Juan's room, I was gonna capture her and teach her a good lesson, something you youngins need. You were going to teach her a good lesson? Are you gonna make her eat the damaging beams of my ray gun like this? No, stop! Well, it was too bad the woman didn't come through the door that night. Huh? Wait. What? I'm a busy woman. PO time with the kids is over. Secret information that no one else knows yet. If that's true, then how do you know about the secret information? Huh? Well, that's because I'm a pro. Yes, that's it. It's a secret. Even if you drill a hole in my brain, you'll never find out. Oh, maybe it's... If you don't be a good girl and tell me where you got the secret information, you won't get to go home today. Edgy2, what are you doing? Help me. Yeah. What do I have to do with this? Just do this for me. You'll get your reward. I don't want you to reward, but you don't leave me much of a choice. The witness could have gotten her information from anywhere. It's even possible that it was spontaneously made up inside the witness's head. And he lectures B on reckless blabbering. As long as we don't know where this information came from. It's quite a waste of time to focus on this line of questioning. It's that one. I'm gonna... You know what? There's something that's been missing, and I'm pretty sure this is what that someone's looking for. I'll save and see. I'm pretty sure it's that. I'm pretty sure it's that. So no one else is supposed to know this secret information, correct? If that's true, then why do you know it, Miss Oldbag? Why are you looking at me like that? Stop that. Witness. I hate to say it, but it's come to this. It's this. The investigative photographer, Lotta Hart. Oh yes, I remember that mischievous little girl. Mischievous little girl. Not. I keep saying mischievous girl. I don't know why I keep saying little, or kept saying little. She reported that she had lost a certain note she had written to herself. She reported such a thing. On that piece of paper, she had written down some of her impressions about the relationship between the victim and Miss Andrews. What? Outrageous ideas, you say? No. I said impressions. Then everything written on this piece of paper is completely meaningless? Ah, that's it. That's the note. No, you see, this is something completely different. This is my top secret list of groceries to buy. Then you are the one who took Miss Hart's note. Therefore, you're the one who took her camera. I'm a huge fan of wands, that's why. That infamous puffy-haired whippersnapper. She's working with that evil On Guard. She said so herself. On Guard, I'm his sidekick. She was so happy, smiling like a silly duck. It was only checking what she had written. Edgy Poo, you believe me, don't you? I was only trying to help out like the angel I am. It's only one little piece of paper. I've never taken anything else before. You really shouldn't come with a supply of cheese to match your vintage wine. Yo, you have some cheese with that wine? Fucking Reddit ass post. Reddit humor. Well, it was only a piece of paper, so I suppose we can overlook this just once. No! Jalissa, really sorry. We can be, it's fine. I guess we should forgive her. Who the heck are you to decide who should be forgiven, you delinquent? Number of endearing qualities, 0. Phoenix. You can't go easy on her. She's no frail old lady. Yeah. You can't go easy on her. You should be pressuring her. Witness. You said that the only thing you stole was that note. Is that correct? Stole? Why don't you listen more carefully, you annoying brat? I saved this piece of paper for that terrible lonely trash can, that's all. You're lying, damn it, and I can prove it. Are you putting my credibility under scrutiny again? Miss Oldbag. I don't believe that note was the only thing you stole like that. It's the camera. The note was inside the camera. Miss Oldbag, that note was with a camera inside its case, wasn't it? A camera? Yesterday, Lotta Hart was raising a huge stink over her camera. She kept saying something like, my sweetie $1,600 camera disappeared on me. Why? Witness! What is it, Gramps? What is it, Gramps? Where's the camera? If you have the note, then it's only logical that you have the camera too. Grr. Looks like you found me out again, Sonny. Is this the camera you're looking for? That's what? Even though I look like this, I'm still a person, you know? I still eat meals like you. I fall in love and borrow things from people. I think the definition of borrow is a little off. I saw that woman's business card and then that's when I noticed something. It said slime bag celebrity extraordinaire, photographer extraordinaire. Oh man, hold on, I gotta say that to watch later. I don't know if you saw, but did you see the if you didn't see that, Northern Lions started playing PRSKO, and then I guess yeah, and due to him playing it, it's a certain Discord, SGC discourse is going around again about people using the gamepad notation, so you know, like 6H or 2H in like DBFC, or like they do what is it? 236 like punch for like fireball movement. Battery low. Every 2 damn seconds is pissing me off. Dude, I need to get my ears cleaned. Right. Well, when I saw that, I had to know what sort of pictures he had taken. I'm a professional security guard. It's my business to know these things. Oh, please don't tell me you deleted the picture. Bailiff, check this camera's photos. Hurry. We must examine them at once. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, what do we have? There is only one photo that seems to be relevant to this case. Please present it to the court. Oh, hold on. This... But wait. This is a Nickel Samurai. See, I told you, that's the guy I saw. This proves that the witness was not lying earlier about this matter. But what does this all mean? What does all this mean, Mr. Edgeworth? The photo proof by itself does not prove that the person in it is the defendant. However, in his own confession, Mr. Arngard clearly stated that at the time of the murder, he was still in a Nickel Samurai costume. If that's the case, then this Nickel Samurai is... No, there's a contradiction. The defendant. How did it come to this? I think this brings us to the end. We have examined every piece of evidence thoroughly. Final comments, Mr. Wright? The court will consider them before we close. Do you agree that if this photo really is decisive, then we're done for? But if I raise an objection here and blow it, I would put Maya's life in jeopardy. No, the contention is I'll point it out. I can't make a mistake here. There is only one road out of this mess. This photo, look, there's something strange. There is something strange about it. There's something strange with this photo. I knew this was coming, right? I knew this was coming, right? Your thoughts, Mr. Edgeworth? I think we can all agree there is nothing strange with this photo. There's no way for the defense to debunk this photo, even with a bunker buster. Debunk with a bunker buster? Is that what you're planning to do, Mr. Wright? Yeah. Anyway, please look at this photo one more time. If you really believe you can honestly find something wrong with this photo, then you should only need one chance, correct? Well, I had to find something wrong with this photo. I can't let this chance go by. There is something wrong with it, and it's very, very obvious. Where in the heck did she take this photo from anyway? It's all out of focus. Why can't you take a good shot, especially when it counts? Now then, let's hear your objection. What about this photo is strange? It's... The one thing is obviously strange is... this. Why does it look like the pants don't fit? I would like to direct the court's attention to this one area right here. What? What are you pointing to? His ankles? If you could see this person's ankle, that would be one thing. However, you can't. And what does that mean? The costume person in this photo could not have been Mr. On Guard. What is the meaning of this? I wonder if you would care to elaborate with actual facts, that is. Let's take a look at the Nickel Samurai's poster. Yeah, look, his feet are not on the ground. Please pay particular attention to the area around the bottom of the hakama. You can clearly see his feet, his socks. You can see his socks. Exactly. However, in this photo, the Nickel Samurai is clearly holding his hakama up just to walk. There is only one explanation for this. The person inside this costume is clearly much shorter than the defendant. All right, I think I've turned things around for myself this time. That's curious. Huh? What is? Edgeworth is unusually calm today. That's true. He's just letting the trial run itself as if he's only along for the ride. Along for the ride. What do you mean by that? I can only guess that he doesn't feel under attack at all. He doesn't feel under attack. Then they haven't damaged the case at all. Mr. Edgeworth, where does this leave us? If the person in this photo is not Matt On Guard, then everything the prosecution has tried to prove has become meaningless. I figured it would come to this. I figured it would come to this. What? Right, I have something I wanted to ask you. I think you have proven that the person inside this costume is not Matt On Guard. Matt On Guard. In that case, who is this a photo of? Well, we only know one short person. That was then... Well, we know 3 short people, but 2 of them were outside of the room. Don't stress out over this, Phoenix. It's very simple. It is very simple. I couldn't have said it better myself, Mia. What you should be focused on is Edgeworth's attitude, don't you think? Yeah, he wouldn't usually let us say who it is. Yeah, why is he so calm? Mr. Wright, let's hear your thoughts. Who is the person in this photograph? It has to be... It's this person. It has to be Adrian Andrews. Yeah, it has to be her. Oh, not that. Hold on. What's that? Sorry. Adrian Andrews. Yeah. It had to be her. If you want to know who that Nickel Samurai is, it's none other than this woman. And why would you say it must be Miss Andrews? What in the world points you to her? For starters, she's short and she can freely move in and out of Mr. Engard's room. Finally, she had dinner with Mr. Engard that night. And how did that all add up? It means that it makes it very easy for her to get a certain item. A certain knife with Mr. Engard's fingerprints all over it. The knife that was used as a murder weapon. Why don't you just say what it is you want, Mr. Wright? Why don't you just say what it is you want, Wright? I have to do this now. This is my last chance to turn things around. The defense moves to indict Miss Adrian Andrews in the murder of Juan Corrida. It was Miss Andrews who tried to frame the defendant for the crime. Order, order, order! It looks like this trial has hit a most unexpected development. Mr. Edgeworth, yes, Your Honor? This court is issuing a subpoena for Miss Adrian Andrews. A verdict cannot be passed without first hearing her testimony. All right, this is it. This is kind of bad for us. Huh? Phoenix, did you forget the kidnapper said 1 day? Get an innocent on the first day. You want to get 1 day? Huh? What do you mean? If Adrian Andrews' witness is summoned to the court as a witness, it means that the trial will go on for another day. 1 more day. Ah! If I don't get a verdict today, then Maya. Now then, we shall set Miss Andrews' testimony for tomorrow. But what am I supposed to do? The judge is about to adjourn the court. Now then. Please, Your Honor, continue the trial. You must pass a verdict today. I can't do that. We cannot hear. I abhor wasting such valuable time. Edgeworth? Your Honor, I request that you please continue with today's trial. But Edgeworth coming in with a clutch? We cannot continue due to this unexpected development. Unexpected development? I think you're underestimating me, Your Honor. And what do you mean by that? That Mr. Phoenix Wright would slave his way to subpoenaing Miss Adrian Andrews is all happening according to plan, even if Wright was a bit slow to catch on. What? What? Holy Toledo! He planned it from the start to end up here. What is the meaning of your statement, Mr. Edgeworth? Miss Adrian Andrews is currently waiting in the prosecution's lobby. I knew this would happen. She is the next witness. Huh? Even everything was planned out in advance by that man. Somehow, I knew there was no way Edgeworth would overlook Miss Andrews. Looks like this battle is far from over. But that's good for us, though. Exactly. Very well. We will call the next witness. However, before we proceed, we shall take a 10-minute recess. Please prepare your witness in that time, Mr. Edgeworth. The court will now take a 10-minute recess. Yes, I did say it 2 different ways to annoy you. That was intentional. I forget. No, actually, no. You do. We do. No, there is. Okay. It's just that this part is really long. Dude, I can't believe that Adrian. No way. Not cool and collected Adrian Andrews. Yawn. Right when I started talking. She is your manager. It would have been very easy for her to pull this off. The only person who had easy access to the knife you used at the dinner was, well, her. So after the ceremony, during the break, huh? But so what? I was sleeping like a log the entire time. So what? See? She could have also easily planted that blood-covered button in your hakama. Because she was the one that came to wake me up? Then, dude, then you're just saying it really was her? Yeah, she is the real killer. She was the one who murdered Juan Corrida. But Why? I thought she was bloods with Juan. She has her own agenda. Her own agenda? What are you talking about? I'm sure you'll see by the time this trial's over. It'll be all right. I'll get you acquitted by the end of today. Can't be a verdict that's refreshing like a spring breeze. Okay, Mr. Lawyer, dude? Phoenix. You think her motive is related to Celeste Impact's missing suicide note, right? Yes. Miss Andrews depended on Miss Impact as her strength and reason to live. But then Miss Impact suddenly killed herself. It sounds like she left a suicide note, and the person thought to have hidden it is Juan Carita, the victim of this murder. And that's why I think that Miss Andrews got close to Miss Carita, all to get the suicide note back. That sounds plausible, but one thing bothers me. What? Who was it that first told us about their relationship? It was Edgeworth. Better stated, Miss Andrews' dependency issues with regards to Miss Impact. It was Edgeworth. But it looks like he's still the one in command of the ship. Don't let your guard down yet. Yeah, he's still the captain of the ship. And we gotta make sure we weather the waves. Court will now reconvene. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, if you please. The prosecution calls a witness subpoenaed by the court. Miss Adrian Andrews, the person who discovered the crime in Mr. Juan Carita's room. She's still holding it. What is your occupation? She's still holding that card. Well, you know what that card is now. It's the kidnapper's card. Hold on. Someone breaking into my house? Hold on, let me leave my door ajar so I can. Ooh, I hope my freezer before I start the speaker are frozen by the time I'm done. They're gonna go crazy. What is your occupation? I am the manager of the defendant in this case, Mr. Matt Ungard. I see. Now then, before we begin, Your Honor, I have one request. Yes, sure. What is it? I'm sure everyone in this room is wondering the same thing. Why? And would love to find out more about my relationship with the victim. After all, it was the topic of the certain weekly magazine recently. No, I have no idea what you mean. I never even heard of Gossip Land. If the judge was ever a prosecution witness, he'd do all my work for me. Anyway, I was wondering if you could please tell us about your relation to the victim. Yes, I was seeing Mr. Carita. I was also aware of the rivalry that existed between Matt and Juan, but this was a private matter between Juan and myself. So it was a fry and bait matter, or was that bait and fry? Reminds me of fishing. But I didn't kill him. No one is accusing you of that. Well, that's not true. We are, actually. I think there's someone who would beg to differ. Yeah, no, we did indict her, so yeah, we are accusing her. I think we all understand your relationship with the victim now, Miss Andrews. Very well. The witness, please testify to the court. Now, but what happened when you discovered the murder that had taken place? When I found the body. It was time for the show to start, so I went to get Matt from his room. After that, I went to Juan's room. So, were you not with Matt the whole time? Well, yeah, she can say whatever she wants, but without a doubt, she was in that costume. It had to be her. As I went out, there was his dead body. I was in shock. What I saw was naturally the exact same scene as in the crime scene photo. I felt as though I was about to faint, so I poured myself a glass of juice. You poured yourself a glass of juice? Yes. Sadly, I didn't remember not to touch things at the scene of the crime, and I disturbed the crime scene by moving this one thing. And that is when the fingerprints on the wine glass were made, Your Honor. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, you may trust Phoenix. She's one cool and collected customer, and she has the brains to match. Yes, I know. In order to catch a person like her, you have to avoid head-on confrontations. You should disrupt her pacing. Disrupt her pacing? New game mechanic? No, of course not. She's the type of woman who is easily just thrown out by things inconsistent with her thinking. So you have to attack when she least expects it. The instant you let up on your offense is the instant this trial is over. Understand? Farewell, my turnabout. And why did you do that? As a friendly jester, Juan was to make an appearance with the other heroes. So the show was supposed to be a show of friends. I say we can. Is that the only reason? I beg your pardon? What are you implying? You had a certain goal in mind when you started to get close to him, correct? Perhaps you had a more personal matter to discuss with the victim? Sorry, but I didn't have any such intentions in mind at the time. Yeah, I can't get her to talk about strong piece of. Like, this is the photo you're referring to, correct? Yes, the one with the knife lodged in his chest. And the guitar case was like this too? Yes, it was open and empty, of course. And then, what did you do next? Juice? Yes, there was a bottle of tomato juice on his table, so I helped myself. But you didn't drink any of it, did you? Huh? There was no lip marks left on this wine glass to suggest that anyone drank from it. I wasn't feeling terribly great, so I set the glass down without drinking it. Doesn't sound like there's any. The only way, yeah, I told you she wouldn't crack without being on the fences. The only way you're gonna catch her is with some very strong, decisive evidence. Nope, I did not mean to do that. That was me. I clicked the options instead of. I pressed instead of options. You were in shock? What? Was I not supposed to be? And despite how close they were, I thought she had a romantic feelings for Mr. Kurita. Anyone randomly stumbling upon a dead body would be in shock. And you can't seriously expect that a young beauty like her would not be shocked. Somehow, I don't think beauty has anything to do with being shocked or not. I see. I would like to, Miss Andrews, I'd like to confirm with you one more time. When you discovered the dead body of Juan Kurita, you were in great shock. And that was when you poured yourself a glass of juice, right? And what of it? My mind really was a complete blank at the time. Your mind was a complete blank. I didn't think that was possible for you. Aren't you rude today? I was so dazed that I made one careless mistake. That one thing. What one thing? Never mind. It's no big deal. What was she starting to say? Press. Miss Andrews. I'm convinced that you, as you said, you made a mistake at the scene of the crime. What I really want to know is what this mistake was. Actually, so would I. I'm sorry. It's kind of embarrassing. When I set the glass down on the dresser, I accidentally knocked over the flower. Oh, I actually knocked the flower vase over. Hold on. Flower vase. Are you talking about the one in the floor of the crime scene photo? Oh, hold yo. This mess. Yeah, I can see where we're going. This mess of glass shards. It was originally on top of the dresser, but when I bumped into it with my elbow, I fell onto the guitar case. Why did you withhold such an important piece of information? I'm sorry. I thought since the crime scene was already in disarray, that people would have simply assumed that the vase was just another part of the mess. So no. It looks like yet another fact has come to light here. Please add that to the testimony. I'm sorry, but I had nothing more to add. I didn't touch anything else. Nah. Actually, hey, better be safe than sorry. It's good taste. The case. Empty. That means. Well, wait, is it the crime scene photo? Wait, which one am I representing? Okay, good thing I saved. Check. That means that means it dropped on the case. That means she opened it. Yeah. Hold on. You testified that you knocked the flower vase over. Is that correct? Is this correct? Yeah, so she was stunned, but not stunned. Yes. And are you sure it fell onto the guitar case? Is there some problem with that? What I said? It's not some problem. It's a major problem. It's true that the top of the guitar case was wet with water. However, that's exactly what is so strange. Miss Andrews, you testified that the vase fell onto the guitar case. However, if that were true, the case should have gotten wet on the inside, not the outside. That's very true. Furthermore, there's one other strange thing about this guitar case. And what is that? Let's take another look at this crime scene photo. It's open. The remains of the vase are scattered on the floor. And what is wrong with that? If the guitar case was open when the vase fell, the glass shards should be inside, not outside the case. Yeah, okay, Phoenix, this is just a long way to say she opened the case. What is your point, right? Yeah, just get to the point. That the case was closed at the time that the vase was knocked over? Is that all? No, that's not all. No, think back to what Miss Andrews testified to. She said that other than the vase, she didn't touch anything else. Duh. Yes, that's right. She did implicitly say that she didn't touch the guitar case. But the whole matter with the guitar case is a dead end. The Wright guitar was found at the studio. It has no bearing on this case at all. That may be very well be true. Very well be. However, the empty guitar case does seem to have no relation to this case, doesn't it? It seems that there is no deeper meaning to the guitar case. Well, Mr. Wright, Wright could testify. The empty guitar case. I believe this is crucial. This is a crucial piece of the puzzle. I can't believe anyone would reach for straws like this, but it's you. But it is you we're talking about. I can't believe I'm doing this either. All right, I'll follow along for now. Ms. Andrews, please testify to the court about the guitar case. Yes, Your Honor. I don't remember it too clearly, but because I was a bit dazed. I suppose I must have opened the guitar case after I knocked over the vase. Knocked the vase over. It's not a big deal though. The case was empty after all. As for why I opened the case, even I don't know. Yeah, I'm not buying that. It looks like this really wasn't a very important point. This wastefulness is just a familiar feeling by now that it's almost comforting. Anyway, I'll go ahead with this and start the cross-examination. Using any way to change the topic. It can be a convenient escape for the weak man. Ooh, I think you're talking too soon. Was it really empty? I was just wondering if maybe when you opened the case, the guitar was still inside. No. How long have you been a lawyer, Mr. Wright? Have a little professionalism. The Wright guitar was found at the studio. these trials would be over in half the time if you would just pay attention. Yes, pay attention, more attention, Mr. Wright. Sorry. Okay. Even you don't know. Was that because you were shocked and dazed at discovering the victim's body? Yes, that's probably it. I'm not going to get anywhere if I continue pressing her like this. Come on, Phoenix. We can't afford to let up on her now. I wasn't planning on letting up, but she's at her weakest now, so this is our chance. Yeah. If we have a weapon to hit our wife. I'm sure a weapon is hiding somewhere with a court record waiting to be found. Is it now? Is it now? Did I save? Hold on. I've been saving like way too much. I've been saving like I actually been saving. Nope, it's not that. The case was empty though. Oh, that's what it is, dude. There's no, her prints aren't on the case. Yeah, her prints aren't on the thing. Yeah, there's no way that you were the one who opened the guitar case. Why would you say that? It's elementary, my dear. Because the only fingerprints on the guitar case are those of the victim. Ah. What is it? What is it, Miss Andrews? You shouldn't assume that I must have let my prints just because I touched the case. What do you mean? What if I were to tell you I was wearing gloves at the time? Well, but no, gloves. But why would you be wearing gloves at the time? It was the night of the award ceremony, so of course I could dress up for the occasion. Yes, now that I remember, I was almost sure I was wearing a pair of thin gloves. Okay, but that doesn't make any sense because we have the wine glass with your gloves on. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, it seems the witness. That's strange. It seems the witness was wearing gloves at the scene of the crime. That's strange. You were wearing gloves. Isn't that a little strange? Why is that strange? Do you have something that would prove I was not wearing gloves at the time? Yeah, the glass you put down. You weren't. This. I have your proof right here. This wine glass. The wine glass. You left your fingerprints very clearly on this wine glass. Ah. Even if you took your gloves off when you poured yourself this glass of juice, wouldn't you think it was just a little strange? Wouldn't you think it's just a little strange that you put your gloves back on just to open the guitar case? Unless you intentionally did so because you didn't want people to know you opened it. Yeah. Oh, ripped glasses. Oh, yeah. Oh, she has a backup pair. She's prepared. Also, keep careful. You don't want to get glass in your eyes. Order. Looks like you hit the nail on the head with this time. What do you mean? I believe that guitar case plays a very important role here, but it's just an empty case. Well, think about it. Why don't you do what she always tells you? Think about it from in the reverse. What if there was something in the case? I wonder if it really was empty though. But the guitar, the bright red guitar was at the studio. No, Phoenix. Don't stop thinking. No, Phoenix, drop all your presumptions. What was in the guitar case was not the bright red guitar. You don't mean it was a bright white guitar? Wait, that's not right either. I admit it would be unnatural for someone to do that. But the witness was not wearing gloves, despite the fact that on the case. Your Honor, this is obviously the defense's usual misdirection tactic at work. Steer the court towards an unrelated topic and lull us all into his misguided. Wait a minute. No, not so fast. No, Your Honor. Please recall that Miss Andrews had testified that the face fell onto the guitar case, which means that when the case was closed, this means that the case was closed when the crime took place. Yeah, it was closed. However, it is wide open in this photo of the crime scene. I am sure this guitar case has some relation to the murder. If you are so sure, right? Then I'll show you can somehow substantiate your outrageous claim, correct? Please enlighten us to why the guitar case has anything to do at all to do with this murder. Can you do that, Mr. Wright? Well, let's suppose for a second that the bright red guitar was not the only thing that could have been in that case. The bright red guitar not being the only thing? You don't mean the black. So yeah, thank you. So you tend to push your theory that the case was not empty. Is that it, right? I want to say something that I didn't intend to prove. Deflate that head of yours. You haven't proven anything yet. Now then, let's have it. What was inside this case at the time of the murder? I think it was this. And why would something like that be inside a guitar case, let alone this one? Why, Mr. Wright? Why? Well, oh, it wasn't that. Well, I just... Okay, well, that was the right. What was inside the case? No. It wasn't that. What was inside? Oh, what was inside? Oh! Was it that? Oh, because think about it. If there was, because they had the picture of her leaving the room in the costume, and she obviously didn't go there in the costume. Was it his costume? This is a photograph. Yes, but what is important is what's in that picture, Your Honor. In this picture, it doesn't take a genius to see what I mean. What I'm proposing is, inside the guitar case was a nickel samurai, the hero's very own costume. What? What's going to explain where she got the costume? Mr. Wright, explain yourself. Right, are you saying that the good witness opened the guitar case to take out a costume? What insane point would dare to be doing something like that? That the same point would be to wear the costume, of course. Miss Andrews put it on to hide her identity so she could make her escape. After all, you couldn't let anyone see you leave, could you, Miss Andrews? I refuse to accept your theory. Do you have anything to support such a preposterous idea? Just outside the door was an investigative photographer who was starving for a big scoop. And in the end, he managed to get this shot, correct? You mean this photo? Order. It looks like we wandered into quite another mess again, haven't we? Nice shot, Phoenix. Well, you know what? You know my strategy. Speak first, think later. The real murderer was hiding inside a costume. Wait 1 second, Your Honor. The nickel samurai costume would have been Mr. Matt Unguard's. Why would something of the defendants be in the victim's room and inside the guitar case of all places? True, that is a little baffling. Mr. Wright, the court would like to hear your thought. What was the nickel samurai? It wasn't his costume because he was wearing it, so it's a spare. It's a spare costume. Mr. Ungard did not take his costume off during the break period. In that case, the costume we are talking about was a spare one. What? Then, are you saying that on the night of the murder, there were 2 nickel samurai costumes at the Gatewater Hotel? Yes, that is what I'm saying. And how do you explain the costume that was inside the guitar case? It's one thing that wouldn't mean that the victim himself had brought the spare to the ceremony on purpose. Yes, there's something that happened that night that hasn't been explained yet. But why? The victim was Mr. Kurita. The victim, Mr. Kurita, was the Jammin' Ninja. Why would he secretly bring the nickel samurai spare costume with him? What could be the reason behind such a peculiar act? Nah. And therein lies the sticking point. What are you mumbling about to yourself about now? Have you just been rambling all this time without any sense of their inner monologue? Huh? No, Mr. Wright, please explain yourself. Why do you think the victim had the Nickel Samurai spare costume? Phoenix, are you sure you can explain this one? Think carefully about before you answer, and then answer with gusto. I believe in you. Alright, this is what I think. The reason the victim brought the Nickel Samurai spare costume to the hotel was for this. Yes, this, if you remember, because Adrian didn't know about it and Matt didn't know about it. And then all of a sudden, we found out that he had a spare costume, a spare Nickel Samurai costume. So this basically, and it seems he was going to confess in the costume. So it must have been him who planned it. Is this? What is this? On the night of the murder, after the stage show, the Nickel Samurai was going to hold a special press conference. A press conference? Yes, the Nickel Samurai was supposed to confess something at this conference. I heard about this as well. For once, you're not making something up, right? But what struck me as strange was that Mr. Engard himself said that he had no idea he was supposed to be holding a press conference that night. But how can that be? The way I see it, that can mean only one thing. The conference was set up by none other than the victim, Mr. Juan Kurita himself. The victim? Yes. The spare Nickel Samurai costume was prepared for that very conference. Mr. Kurita was going to hold that press conference as the Nickel Samurai. He was going to dress up as the Nickel Samurai and hold a conference. But why would the victim do such a thing? That's something I don't quite know yet. However, what I am concerned with right now is what he intended to reveal at that conference. The Nickel Samurai was going to confess something. And by confess, I read that he was going to reveal something about himself. Hold on, I need to... Oh, I don't have that. Which means that Juan Kurita, posing as the Nickel Samurai, was going to speak about Matt on guard. Yes, I guess that is what it would mean. But if that's the case, that's not a confession. That's public disclosure. Miss Andrews? I can see why you're opposed at what you do. Pardon me? Yes, just as you say. The press conference was set up by Juan. So she did know. Not that she didn't know, but she did know. She just wasn't telling us the truth at the time. Bruschetta? Just as you said, the press conference was set up from Juan. Miss Andrews, please offer us an explanation for this. I was the one who asked to help set it up. And the person who prepped the second costume for him, that was also me. You! Juan had bet everything on the Jammin' Ninja this year. And if he lost the Grand Prix, he was going to make sure that Matt was going down with him. That's what he thought anyway. He was going to ruin him. Huh? It looked like somehow Juan had his hands a secret so powerful that it would destroy Matt's acting career had it been revealed. What? Whoa. He got the tea. And do you know what the secret of Miss Engard's is, Miss Andrews? That's something only Juan knew. I don't know what it was. I don't know what it is. Oh, he didn't tell her. Ah, I see. I probably been coming off quite suspicious to everyone, but that's to be expected. I've been trying to protect Matt after all. Protect Mr. Engard? And yet again, another strange bit of truth comes to light, it seems. Wait, trying to wait. That okay? Her saying that doesn't make any sense. That's you trying to protect Mr. Ungard, but you knew that he had something that could ruin Matt, a secret that could ruin Matt, and you helped him prepare the event to destroy him. So that doesn't, to me, that doesn't mean that you weren't trying to protect him at all. If you helped, and yet again, another strange, yeah. Miss Andrews, if you could please tell us the truth about your behavior. Yes, Your Honor, I understand. This might be the last one. From the moment I saw the crime scene, I had a feeling that Matt was the murderer. Matt had to kill Juan no matter what, and that he didn't have an alibi. And he didn't have an alibi for what he was doing at the time of the murder. My thoughts were confirmed by the evidence, of course, the button and the knife. But I'm Matt's manager, so I felt that I had to protect him. Yeah, she's lying. This is a lie. That does account for everything. Well, I am the logical type. We're finally seeing her. Yeah, we're finally seeing her true self. Yeah, she's lying through her teeth. She's more nervous than a scared rabbit. If the defense can find no fault with this testimony, I'm ready to make a ruling. Please keep that in mind as you cross-examine Mr. Wright. Looks like somehow everything is swinging to the opposite end of the scale again. That just means I have to put my weight into it, and turn her logic upside down. So now we have to prove that she was not in fact doing that. Why would you say that was your intuition speaking to you? Don't confuse my methods of reasoning of reasoning with your own. Or if you want to prove that someone did something, you need 3 things. 3. A motive, an opportunity to commit the crime, and finally, decisive evidence. If you think these 3 things were true, the answer becomes quite clear. You should have already known that, Phoenix. They didn't teach that to us in school, at least not from what I remember. May I continue now? Okay, let me press again. So you say this need came from this press conference? Yes. Do you know why Juan chose that event and that hotel for the conference? Because that was when he could cause the most damage to the public's beloved Matt Ungard. And you knew of this plan, didn't you, Miss Andrews? Yes, because I was the one who set up the conference and prepared the costume. But I'm sure Mr. Ungard himself didn't know anything about the press conference. Oh, really? Can you show me any proof that he didn't know about the press conference? Anyway, the important thing is that your information was not... Yes, I agree. Miss Andrews, please correct your testimony if you please. Grasp me as straws now, are we, Mr. Wright? You know what his motive is, but you don't have any way to prove that he was right? Well, just press. Has Mr. Ungard done something to hurt or betray you personally? Why do you ask? You were the one who helped Mr. Corita with his press conference, and that event was supposed to bring down Mr. Ungard, yet you still helped him out. The person on trial right now is Mr. Ungard, right? What the witness was thinking, helping the victim with his plan, is none of our concern. In any case, this means the defendant had a motive to kill. Why do I keep doing this to myself? Really? Because it sounds really wishy-washy. You should know this by now, but you need to decide to stop. Wait, huh? You can hardly call the knife decisive evidence. The fingerprints on the knife could very well be a clever... Then what about the button? The button? They cleared from the crime scene that the victim and his murderer fought. And during the fight, the victim killed And sorry, I had a brain fart. And during the fight, the killer ripped the button from the Jamming Ninja's costume. You're talking about this button, correct? The button was found. Looks like you're outfoxed again, Mr. Wright. Anyway. I can't stand the sight of a man who can't gracefully accept his defeat. Thank goodness Mia can still look at me. With an icy stare, yes. Miss Andrews, please, for Mr. Wright's sake, please add this information to your testimony. Yes, but so, okay. So even though they everyone hates me after saying that it was the right thing to do. Yeah, this is wrong because nope. The knife stab was after. He actually didn't put up a fight. He was strangled. That's wrong. You're wrong actually. This is the victim's autopsy report. It clearly states that the cause of death was strangulation by a scarf. So, strangulation? Yeah, so he wasn't stabbed to death, so that's wrong. The knife stab to the victim was done after the victim had already died. And what does that mean? That means this. That you know what that means? That means this knife, this button is a forgery. Let's examine the evidence. Let's examine the evidence. This button has the victim's blood on it, which would mean that it was ripped off the costume. When? After the knife was stabbed into the victim. Exactly. Which means it's impossible that this button was torn off during the victim's final struggle, because the victim was strangled to death in that fight. So yeah, this basically means that she most likely stabbed him and ripped out the button to incriminate man. And that's right, Miss Andrews. There is no way this button was ripped off during the fight struggle. This button was consciously pulled off the victim's already dead body. Oh, I'm like, what? Order. What is the meaning? What is the meaning of this, right? So what if the button was torn off the body after the victim had already died? What does this change? This means that a piece of evidence is a forgery. Let me ask you one simple question, Mr. Edgeworth. Why was the button torn off? What purpose did that serve? What purpose? Because remember, we now know this button was not torn off during the fight. So the murderer took the time and effort to purposely rip this from the victim's body. That would mean that the murderer had something in mind, wouldn't it? Mr. Wright, does this mean that you know what the murderer wanted to do with this button? What was it? To pin the crime. It's to pin the crime of Miss Ungard. There is only one logical reason for doing something like that. It was to pin the crime on Mr. Ungard. There is no way anyone would put a bloody button in their own pants. That's right. Mr. Ungard was set up by the real killer, of course. And the real murderer is... Well, Mr. Wright, who in the world is the real killer then? Finally. Hold on. I need my save. It's her. Finally. I can't believe I managed to bring this trial all the way up to this point. Phoenix, you can't let your guard down yet. Not until the very end. The real killer, the person who planned to frame Mr. Ungard, is the person standing right in front of us. It's you. Miss Adrian Andrews. I choose you. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, Mr. Phoenix Ketchum. You are Mr. Kurita's killer. What? Order. Mr. Wright. This is a very grave matter. Do you have any evidence that supports your charge? Any evidence? All of the evidence points to Miss Andrews. Well, how preposterous. You can't stick any of that to me. Oh, I can't, can I? Would you care to test me? Then what about this knife? You had it. The knife was used to stab the victim after he had already been strangled to death. It was used to throw suspicion onto Mr. Ungard, naturally. A knife covered in the defendant's fingerprints can only be taken from his room, which you had access to. And the only one who had dinner with him and knew which knife to take was you. Ah. Then, what about the button that was found in Matt's Kakama? Again, his button was removed from the victim's body after he had already died. The only people who could have done so were the person who found his body or the killer. However, if Mr. Ungard was the real killer, There's no way he would have put such incriminating evidence in his own Hakama. Yeah. That's their fourth pair of glasses. The only person who could have put this button into Mr. Unguard's Hakama is the person who went to wake him up from his nap, which is you, yet again, Miss Andrews. Hold on, okay, hold on. That me saying a pair of glasses made me think of something I thought about earlier this week. So, why do we say pair of pants, pair of shoes, pair of glasses when referring to a singular item, but we don't say a pair of shirts? Think about it. Pair of pants is only it's not two, but for a pair of shoes, it's two shoes. Or are we counting the shoes as one entity or one existence? The more you know, or whatever. Hold on. I had the cough. Ugh. Oh God. Hold on, we're almost home. I see. What about the empty guitar case? The costume was inside. There's also another piece of evidence that incriminates Miss Andrews. That costume. Oh, hello. The costume was used to hide the real killer's identity as they fled the crime scene. Yeah, her doing. If she really wasn't guilty, reason why she did this does not make any sense. Yeah, it's very odd. The costume, because if she was really not involved, or wasn't trying to frame it, she would have been like, "Hey, can someone help? I found a dead body in here." The costume was used to hide the real killer's identity as they fled the crime scene. Now, who could have known that there was just such a costume inside the guitar case? It could only have been the person who prepared the costume for the victim. And that person is you, Miss Adrian Andrews. No. Oh no. Oh no. No. But Miss Andrews' fingerprints were nowhere to be found on the guitar case. And it was you who proved that she was not wearing gloves at the time. That's right. That's because she did not intend on leaving any prints. Yeah, that who's to say, if anyone had found out that she had touched the case, they would have asked her why. So to avoid leaving any prints, to use a towel or something else to open it. But the glass of tomato juice is a different story. Miss Andrews purposely left her fingerprints on the glass to show that yes, indeed, she was the classic dazed discoverer of a dead body. And to drop it all off, there is this photo. The photo of the killer as they exited the scene of the crime. No reasonable person on Earth could believe this nickel samurai is Mr. Unguard. He would be much too short for his own costume if it was him. Speaking of how tall people are, Miss Andrews, you're also kind of short in stature, are you not? Please, stop. Well, how about it, Miss Andrews? I've got her this time. Miss Andrews, I refuse to testify. Oh, you can do that, but that carries some, as we learned in the first game, that carries some ramifications to it. What was that? There's a law. It says I can't be forced to testify about something if it can incriminate myself. Incriminate me. Yeah, pleading the Fifth Amendment. If we're in Japan, since we're in Japan, America, there is such a thing. Well, yes, you are absolutely correct, Miss Andrews. The law does provide us with a way to avoid self-incrimination by allowing a witness to not testify if the testimony can cause damage to themselves. What? Yeah, the Fifth Amendment, Phoenix. Come on. Pleading the Fifth is not something most people would think to do on the spot. Actually, thinking about back to yesterday in Mr. Unguard's room. Adrian Andrews. Yeah, yes? Oh yeah, they did talk about something. We think hard about what we just discussed. Understood? All right. Oh, so she must have talked. So that's it. That's what. Yeah. So that's what Francesca talked to her about pleading the fifth. That's what Miss. That's when Francesca planted this idea into her head. She must have told Miss Andrews not to testify if things look bad. You did a good job proving everything up to this point, Phoenix. But there is still one thing you haven't done. Something I haven't done. What's wrong? What's wrong, Wright? Are you finished already? Run out of evidence? What is so humorous, Mr. Edgeworth? I'm sure you realize this as well, Your Honor. But everything the good lawyer here is putting up to this point is meaningless. What? It's motive. What's her motive? Everything you have proven is circumstantial. Circumstantial? Yes, circumstantial. You have yet to provide a single piece of definitive proof. The proof that Miss Andrews did in fact harbor a wish to murder Mr. Kurita. Oh, well, we're gonna have to... Miss Andrews, did you want to kill Mr. Kurita? I believe this may lead to me incriminating myself, so I will abstain from answering. But Miss Andrews, if you do that, it would be the same as admitting your guilt, don't you think? Maybe so, or maybe not. There's nothing more to prove it. There's nothing to prove it either way. Besides, you don't even know what crime I would be guilty of due to my silence. No, she's taking that defiant attitude again. Mia, what should we do? Somehow, we've landed in the worst possible situation. I think we've reached a certain conclusion at this point in time. Miss Adrian Andrews has refused to testify, and the defense theory that she is the actual murderer has not been fully substantiated with solid definitive proof. But that's not true. In this situation, there is only one thing the court can do, and that is declare a recess. Recess. I request that both the prosecution and the defense look further into this matter, and at tomorrow's trial. Tomorrow? Damn it! We don't have a tomorrow. If we don't get a not guilty verdict today, then please wait, Your Honor. That's not necessary. The trial. Please continue the trial. What are you sweating for? Your client is getting one more day to live, isn't he? That's not it. This isn't about that. Edgeworth, I know you know who the real killer is. Please, let the trial continue. If I don't get the verdict, then Maya. Yeah, it's kind of odd that we didn't tell him about what's going on. But it's impossible to continue as long as the witness refuses to testify. Now then, this court is... It is not impossible for this trial to continue. Mr. Edgeworth, what are you... It's true Miss Andrews holds the right against self-incrimination. However, if the topic of conversation were something unrelated to whatever she may be guilty of, then she has no right to withhold testimony. Yes, that is very true, but actually, there is one little thing that I'm curious about. What is... and that is... Miss Andrews. When you found the victim's dead body, you poured yourself a glass of juice. Yes, and I can't help but think of how unnatural that is. Usually when one finds a body, they are shaken up, not stirring a glass of juice. So my actions were unusual, but I've already... Before you speak, I want to say that if you have a reason behind your actions, they would like you to testify to that effect. Testify. Your Honor, I would like to request that the witness testify again as to what happened when she first discovered the victim's body. Whatever we find out in this testimony should in no way implicate the witness. I don't know what it is about Edgeworth today, but I can't get a good read off of him. Is he a friend? Is he friend or foe? I just don't know. If the court acknowledges the prosecution's request, Miss Andrews, if you please. Yeah, this is like for obvious reasons, this is like the longest testimony. When I found the body, a glass of juice, I didn't really pour it for myself. I was surprised when I walked into the room and saw it in that messy state. And Juan, he was sitting slumped over and tired, looking in the corner. When I saw him sitting like that, I thought that didn't cross my mind. To be honest, I thought he had just fainted or something, so I went to pour him some juice. When I realized that he was dead, that's when I knocked up the flower face over. So you poured the glass of juice for the victim. Why didn't you say so in your earlier testimony? I didn't think I needed to include something so trivial. Phoenix, please be careful out. Please be careful here. If you can't find anything wrong with this testimony, that there's nothing left. I know. Edgeworth, what the heck is going on in that brain of yours? Now then, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Last truth, are we employing ourselves? I was surprised when I walked into the room and saw it in that messy state. You thought he fainted? I thought that he was asleep at first, but then the room was in such a messy state. I thought maybe he had gotten into a fight with someone. That was when you went to go pour the glass of juice? Yes, he always has a hard time waking up. So Juan always has a glass of tomato juice to drink. I see. And after that, what happened? I realized he was dead. And how did you come to realize that he was in fact dead? I shook him over and over, but never got a response. So I set the glass down on the dresser and tried to take his pulse. I was shocked. I staggered backwards. I staggered backwards. And knocked the flower vase over. So that's what happened. Yes. This is what it all comes down to. Huh? This is the absolute end for both sides, and Adria is letting her guard down. Phoenix? Phoenix, now is our best chance yet to kill the prosecution's case. Isn't that a bit harsh, Cassandra? Will you tell us the truth this time? Messy state. So, it was a mess? Are you sure it wasn't messy because of your fight with Mr. Corrida? Come on. And I understand your frustrations at not being able to prove your theory. However, before you go accusing people of crimes, go find yourself some evidence. And then, what did you see next, witness? Slumped over. Yes. He was just sitting there with his head tilted forward, his eyes closed. He really looks like he was sleeping. Is this just me or something? I think it... Right. Oh, let me... Slumped over. Yes, he was just sitting there with his eyes tilted. Head tilted forward. And his eyes closed. No, let's look at the crime scene photo. No. No. Well, we could try. We could try. Nope. Nope, not that. Not that. Saw him looking slumped over, and something's odd about that statement. Nope. Nope. No, no, no. Then what did cross your mind? I thought maybe he had smashed everything up in anger because he lost the Grand Prix and then felt tired after his rampage, so he decided to take a nap. Anyways, that's what I thought. I see. You didn't think he was dead at all. What is odd? Slumped over? Yes, he was just sitting there with his head tilted forward, eyes closed. He really looked like he was sleeping. He looked like he was sleeping. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna. Did I press the? And how did you come to realize that he was in fact dead? Oh no, I did. But there wasn't anyone. But there wasn't anyone else in the room, right? Of course not. Then, who did you pour it for? Mr. Wright. There is a rhyme and reason for everything. Can you? In other words, Wright, be quiet and listen. Precisely, I couldn't have said it better myself. Wait. What is it? What is it? What is it? Slumped over in the... He was sitting slumped over in the corner. I saw him sitting like that. But let's just try. We tried the guitar. No. And how did... Why did you pour him juice? You thought he fainted? I thought he was asleep at first. But then the room was just in such a messy state. I don't. I'm lost. I'm lost. I'm lost. I'm lost. He said there's. He said it's the only thing. He said there's something odd about this. I'm pretty sure I used everything. I don't know. No. No. I haven't used this yet. I don't know whether. No. Oh my! Oh, holy Toledo! My mom was saying. Okay, I'm just gonna let me just go through it. Yeah, that is very easy. stumped over. Is it just me or is something odd about what she just said? Then what did cross your mind? Brian, he thought he fainted. He thought he fainted. And I realized he was dead. Okay, so that idea, okay, works. Then, yeah, okay, I was right, yeah. Yeah. Definitely doesn't make sense. Yeah, okay. I got it. So you honestly didn't think he was dead when you found him? Oh, yeah. Then, yeah, so after she found out he was dead, then she's put the knife into him. No, not at all. Even though this is what you saw when you discovered the body? Yeah. Oh, okay, no, I misunderstood. Okay, no. Oh, I assumed that we knew that she put the knife into him, but no, we haven't proven that yet, I guess. So no, yeah, she thought he was still alive with the knife in his chest. What is the meaning of this? Isn't it obvious, Your Honor? There's a knife sticking straight out of Miss Corita's chest. Anyone who saw that scene would have immediately thought that there was here was a dead man. That's, well, you see, I doubt a single person in the world would mistake this for someone who fainted, and then so nonchalantly go pour something to drink. Your point is, Miss Andrews. Oh, okay, yeah. So that's why I was getting confused. We have a. I was coming from the point that we know that she's the one who stabbed him, but no, now we're proving that she's the one who stabbed him with that knife. Your testimony just now, it was all one giant lie. And your lie has proven one thing very clearly, that you are the real killer. No! It looks like the defense has somehow brought an ugly truth to light. The defendant, Mr. Matt on guard, is not guilty after all. But that's impossible. You're wrong. Miss Andrews? Try to have some composure. It wasn't me. It wasn't me, I tell you. It was Matt. I swear it. He's the one who killed Juan. But you were the one who refused to testify. And your reason for not doing so was that you might end up incriminating yourself. That's because... Miss Andrews, I will give you one last chance. What exactly are you hiding that may incriminate you? I refuse to testify. Oh, so basically, so what it is she's willing to go to prison to not over it. She's willing to go to jail. Then there's no need for this court to continue any further. Mr. Matt Unguard's innocence has been clearly demonstrated. Is it over? Have we found the truth at last? What's wrong, Phoenix? Usually it feels pretty good, but right now, I don't feel too hot. Usually the real killer confesses his or her guilt. But now that I think about it, this is the first time someone hasn't. Now then, I would like to hand down my verdict for Mr. Matt Unguard. Your Honor, the prosecution feels that it would be premature to pass down a verdict at this time. What? The reason is quite simple. This witness has yet to speak of the absolute real truth. The absolute real truth. What are you, witness? Don't you understand yet? Huh? I don't know who planted this silly idea in your head, but as long as you protect yourself through your silence, Matt Unguard will go free, and in his place, you will become the guilty party. Yeah, that's a lie.
I don't believe you. What? I was told if I spoke, then it would be all over, and Matt would never declared. What? What in the world is she talking about? Has she lost it? Who told her that? I can't speak about it. I'm too scared. It's Francisca von Karma. Huh? Don't you remember, Phoenix? Miss Andrews lives by gripping tightly onto words with another. Because she doesn't have the strength to believe in herself. Then right now, Miss Andrews she's latched yesterday. She was tossed a lifesaver by Miss Von Karma. Don't say a word. No matter what happens, you can do. Matt and Gar will be acquitted. Oh, but that's probably not what she meant. Miss Andrews undyingly believes in those words right now and is clinging on to them. Then what should we do? This is the first time I've ever come across anything like this. But Miss Andrews has to be the killer, right? All we have to do now is get our not guilty. That is my only priority. It wasn't me. I'm begging you. Please believe me. I didn't kill Juan. Help. Please. Someone help me. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor? The court can't continue on like this. Therefore, I'd like to hear what you intend to do. What I intend to do. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to say? Right. I suggest you think very carefully about this. Think about what this witness did and what she did not do. And think about who is the real mastermind behind this crime. Who is the real mastermind? Isn't it obvious? There's no one else it could be except the woman crying over there. Oh, crying over there. Right? Come now. What will you do? What kind of man are you, Mr. Phoenix Wright? No. This is... We know in our heart of hearts, as true selves, this is not right. We gotta. I have to win a complete acquittal today. There's no way around that. But I can't bring myself to do it. I can't bring myself to do it like this. Not when she's making a face like that. Miss Andrews, I would like to know what you're really hiding. Mr. Wright, are you sure you know what you're doing? Sure, Mr. Ungar would get an acquittal, but in a place, he would be found guilty. And is this how you really want this trial to end? But be quiet. How dare you? You're trying to trick me. That's enough. I commend you for trying, Mr. Edgeworth. However, it's clear that the defense's theory is the truth. You're wrong. What a shame. I had hoped things wouldn't come to this. However, what is it, Mr. Edgeworth? Miss Andrews, since you absolutely refused to testify, it falls on my shoulders to disclose this to the court. So, stop. Mr. Edgeworth? Oh no, he's gonna tell. This witness, how should I put this? She has an illness. What? Whoa, that's not very woke of you, Mr. Edgeworth. And because of this illness, she has tried to commit suicide in the past. Stop. Please stop. No matter how much you want to hide it, there's no use. I have the evidence right here. That's the second part of the suicide report, the attempted suicide. What will you do now, witness? You know what I'm about to do, don't you? I will now reveal to the court the true nature of this pitiful woman known as Adrian Andrews. The secret of her dependent nature. Having the other people know about her scares her more than anything else in the world. Please stop! I beg of you. If people find out, I'll. Sorry, I don't care. Not my problem. If you're gonna say you would choose death, that is of no concern to me. Edgeworth, how can you be so cold? However, before you die, I will pull the truth from your still breathing lips. No matter what I have to do. That's cold, Edgeworth. Real cold. So, will you tell the court yourself, or shall I? Either is fine with me. And you know what? I forgot what I was said to tell. Well, I'll scrape the bot for I'll talk, but please help me. Nothing matters anymore. Nothing matters anymore. That crime. When I first saw him, I really thought he had honestly fainted. Honest. When I realized he was dead, that was when I formulated my plan. Once I made sure that no one was no. That's what once I made sure that there was no one in the hallway, I made a dash back to Matt's room. And then I stabbed Juan's dead body with a knife and ripped off the button. Just when I finished and was returning to Matt's room, I had a bit of an inconvenience. And that's why I ended up using the nickel samurai costume. Stab the body with the knife? But why would you do that? Is it obvious? They pin the blame on a certain someone. A certain cowardly man.
What do you mean by all of this? It might take this court a little while to understand, but Mr. Ungard this is the truth. The real killer is Matt. That scumbag of a man. I'll never forgive him. He's trying to escape his guilt again, just like last time. Last time? So, Miss Andrews stabbed the victim, Juan Kurita, in the chest with the knife. However, she didn't do it with murder in mind. She did it with the intent of framing Matt Ungard for the murder. And this is her crime. What? How's this possible? I mean, wasn't Miss Andrews supposed to be the real murderer? Mr. Wright, please get over your shock and commence with the cross-examination. Why? What is this plan you had? I knew right away that murder was Matt. I knew because one, he was going to expose Matt's weakest weak point to the world. So Matt did this to stop Juan and silence him for good. That's when I thought I should forge some evidence and pin this crime on Matt. So the forged pieces of evidence were the knife and the button. The first thing that came to mind was the planted knife. Okay, let me just press the last thing, because you were the one who prepared that costume, weren't you? Yes, I took it from Global Studios. I also put it into Juan's guitar case the day before the award ceremony. You did this in preparation for the press conference, correct? Yes, Juan wanted to wear that costume and hold a press conference in it. He was going to disclose Matt's big secret there. And what is the secret? She doesn't know. I don't know. Anyway, I thought if I were to leave this Juan's room in the nickel samurai costume, then people would think that Matt was the real murderer. I was very careful to not leave any fingerprints when I opened the guitar case. I absolutely did not want anyone to know about the costume. I don't want to concede, but this testimony, it rings of the truth. I'm sorry, Phoenix. No, please, don't apologize to me. We were both taken by surprise. Still, I'm sorry. Yeah, I think this is just to press everything, because I don't think she's lying. She's not lying. But you could tell from the state of the room, but you could tell from the state the room was in that there must have been a fight. Are you telling me that the truth when you say that you did not know he was dead? He had a scarf tied around his neck, but that scarf is a part of the Jamin Ninja's costume, so I didn't think anything about it was strange. His head was also tilted down a bit, so I couldn't see his face that well. That's why I thought I'd wake him up and went to pour him the juice. What is your... Oh no, I did that. That was so you could get the knife, correct? The knife Matt used at dinner had his fingerprints all over it. I thought if I used that, then the police would certainly turn their eyes towards him. Matt was napping with his costume on at the time. I slipped in, took the knife, and returned to the scene of the crime. So you were the one who stabbed the victim with that knife. It gives me the goosebumps to think about it now. What a horrible thing I did. But at the time, I couldn't control my own body. It moved on its own. Then, when I scanned Juan's dead body, I suddenly realized something. If I used the button somehow, I could make Matt look even more suspect. So you thought to rip one of the buttons off and then plant it in Mr. Ungard's Hakama. Yes, that's what I planned to do. But things never go that smoothly, do they? This is what I figured, yeah. And an inconvenience? There was a woman with a camera at the ready, loitering in the hallway.
I'm willing to bet my spikes that it was Lada. Oh, my his hair spikes. There was also a woman with a ray gun at the ready, pacing back and forth. That's Miss Soulbag for you. I had already been caught and made it into a big scoop for a certain weekly tabloid once, so I couldn't very well go out looking like myself and get caught again. I think we've heard enough. Yeah, this was a press everything because she's telling the truth. So after that, he went back to Mr. Unguard's room and planted the button into Max Hakama. Yes. After that, I folded up the costume I was wearing and put it into a bag. Then I stuck out of the hotel and got rid of it. My word, what does all this mean? I think she the worst she can get is like mutilation and evidence tampering, or crime scene tampering. Mr. Edgeworth, is it? The real criminal is Matt on guard. Yesterday, that woman's prosecutor sat me down for a talk. Francisca, huh? She said that I should under no circumstances confess to what I had done. That if I just kept quiet, then Matt would be found guilty for sure. I had no choice. I had no choice but to believe in her words. What this witness has done is clearly unlawful. However, as long as her testimony stands, we can be certain she is not the real killer. Wait, Your Honor. The defense still... Right. It's pointless. At this point in time, it's not possible to indict Miss Andrews on anything. Yes, exactly. There isn't a single piece of evidence that points to her as the murderer. The cross-examination of the witness is over, and so is today's trial. You couldn't establish that the witness was the culprit. Please let it go, Mr. Wright. But... Mr. Edgeworth, please place Miss Andrews under arrest for further questioning. Understood, Your Honor. The prosecution will arrange for her detention immediately. That is all. Court is adjourned for today. No! Oh, empty. I think a new Sprite. No! Hold on. I had to get that. I had to get it. Wait. Sorry. Today's trial is over, and I didn't win an acquittal. Witness, would you mind if I asked you something? Edgeworth. What is it? Where did you get that? Before you leave court today, I wondered if I might look at one thing. The card in your hand. It's had my interest for quite some time now. What exactly is it? Oh, this? Mr. Wright also asked about it. Yeah, we know it's for the kidnapper's card, but they don't know that yet. Although I didn't remember at the time you asked me about it, Mr. Wright. I remembered it just now. I found this in the room on that day. The room? That day? Yes. I found this card when I discovered Juan's body. It was lying there, right next to him. A calling card. You found that card next to the victim's body? I suppose I must have unconsciously slipped it into my pocket. But it's not as if this card has any relevance to Juan's murder, right? Yeah, I guess not. But it's still a strange card, if you ask me. But as far as a clue to the case, I don't see why. Hold it! Witness! That card! Give it to me! Hurry! Edgeworth? Do you have any idea what you have stupidly yet inadvertently done? I can't believe you hid it from me all this time. I didn't mean to. What is it? What is this all about? I've never seen Edgeworth so emotional before. We learned the truth. Or they learned the truth. That card, what in the world is it and what does it mean? Okay, oh my gosh. Okay, holy, we can stop. Yes, please, God, save my progress. Okay, so yeah, that is going to be it for me for today. As always, thank you for coming. Thanks for coming. And as always, if you like what you saw, please consider leaving a like. Follow me on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, X, Blue Sky for bad tweets, stream updates, and everything in between. And hopefully, I will see you in the next stream. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. See ya later. Peace.